Blog article from Grace Daily. August 18, 2026. Title: Not Just Rules, Exploring Transforming Truth, Loyalty, and Humility. Written by Grace Daily. Summary: Micah 6 verse 8 is not just a list of commandments, but rather an invitation to live the gospel radically in justice, faithfulness, and humility. This article will explore the deeper meaning of this verse and its relevance for our Christian lives. Here is the full article. Introduction: An ancient question, an eternal answer. In the whirlpool of fast-paced life, we are often tempted to look for shortcuts to spirituality. We ask, what does God want from me? We might think the answer is a series of rituals, large offerings, or even striking heroic deeds. However, the prophet Micah, in the midst of the moral and spiritual darkness of his people, gave an answer that was striking but very liberating. Micah 6 verse 8 is not just a list of commandments, but a profound and applicable summary of the gospel. O people, you have been told what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justice, to love faithfulness, and to walk humbly before your God? Micah 6 verse 8. As a pastor who has served congregations for many years, I see how this verse is often misunderstood. There are those who see it as a moral burden, there are also those who reduce it to simply doing good. However, I believe Micah 6 verse 8 is a Christocentric lens that helps us see the essence of our calling as followers of Jesus. Let's dive deeper into these three pillars. 1. Be fair, more than just the absence of evil. When Micah speaks of doing justice, mishpat in Hebrew, he does not just mean not doing injustice. Far more than that, it is a call to actively seek and uphold justice, especially for the vulnerable and oppressed. This is justice that is rooted in the character of God Himself, who is a God of justice and defender of the weak. In the context of the gospel, this justice is realized in the person of Jesus Christ. He came not only to save souls, but also to restore all of creation. He ate with tax collectors and sinners, healed the sick, and preached good news to the poor. Evangelical justice means we see every human being as a precious creation of God, deserving of dignity, love, and opportunity. It encourages us not only to condemn injustice, but also to proactively engage in building a more just society, from our families, churches, to the broader community. Pastoral practice: how can we do justice in the digital age? This could mean supporting ethical products, speaking the truth on social media, with love, or even just listening empathetically to the stories of the marginalized. Justice begins with a heart that sees with the eyes of Christ. 2. Loving faithfulness, a heart attached to grace. The word loyalty here is hesed, a Hebrew word rich in meaning. It is often translated as steadfast love, steadfast goodness, or endless grace. This is not just about being loyal to someone, but about loving loyalty itself, meaning that we value and practice steadfast and unconditional love, like God's love for His people. Jesus is the perfect embodiment of God's hesed. He was faithful until death on the cross, showing unwavering love even when we are unfaithful. His grace is the basis of our faithfulness. We love faithfulness not because we are perfect, but because we have received extraordinary hesed from God. This loyalty is manifested in our commitment to God, to others, spouse, family, congregation, and to our calling. Pastoral practices: loving fidelity means we invest in relationships, keep promises, and be reliable. This also means that we are faithful in prayer, in reading the Word, and in serving, not because of obligation, but because we have felt God's great faithful love. 3. Living humbly before your God, recognizing our place. The third pillar, walk humbly with your God, or walk humbly with your God, is the key that opens the door to the previous two pillars. Humility does not mean lowering yourself or having no self-respect. Rather, it is an honest confession of who we are before the Almighty and all-loving God. Evangelical humility is realizing that we are completely dependent on God's grace. We cannot save ourselves, be just in our own strength, or show true loyalty without the Holy Spirit. Humility leads us not to boast, not to seek human praise, but to seek God's glory alone. Jesus Himself was an example of perfect humility, who emptied Himself and took the form of a servant, Philippians 2 verses 5-8. Pastoral practice: living humbly means admitting mistakes, apologizing, and being willing to learn. This means putting the needs of others before our own, and always relying on the leading of the Holy Spirit in every decision. Humility also means appreciating the gifts and talents of others, rather than envying or competing. Conclusion: a Christ-centered holistic vocation. Micah 6 verse 8 is not just a list of tasks we must fulfill to please God. Rather, it is a description of what a life transformed by the gospel should look like. Justice, faithfulness, and humility are not human efforts to gain God's favor, but are the fruit of a heart that has been touched by the grace of Christ. We do justice because Christ has done justice to us. We love faithfulness because Christ has shown us unlimited ease. We live humbly because Christ, although God, humbled himself for us. As believers, let us continue to meditate on this powerful verse. Let it be a guide for every step we take, not as a burden, but as a roadmap to a life full of meaning, centered on Christ and glorifying God. This is a call to live the gospel radically, every day, in every aspect of our lives. This has been an article from Grace Daily. May it bless your faith journey.